Thank you very kindly for joining Sherman D. Manning. Black Lives Matter. Hands up. Don't shoot. Now, as you may recall, all of this technology is new to me, and I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. Just trying to do it. Voice has been silenced for so long. So if you're actually hearing this, I'm gonna break my own personal rule, and one time and one time only, I'm going to announce my email for the world to hear. I'm going to ask someone to send me an email and let me know that this thing is actually working. Am I really podcasting? Am I going out there? Are people able to hear what it is that I'm saying? So get a pen and paper, if you will. Please get a pen and piece of paper, or program it into your don't program it into your phone, because I only want you to send me an email one time to let me know that you can actually hear my voice. Okay, here's my email address. One email, please, only. Email me at shermandmanning@yahoo.com. That's shermandmanning@yahoo.com. If you're actually hearing me, if my voice is actually going out there, someone send me an email. You, right where you are, send me an email and let me know that you're actually able to hear me as I talk about it. Let's talk about those Republicans again. Call me the anti-Rush Limbaugh. Call me the anti-Sean Hannity. And with all due respect, Sean Hannity started out in Atlanta, Georgia. I debated Sean Hannity in the 90s. And one person said, quote, one of the commentators said that Sherman D. Manning, quote, kicked his posterior anatomy, only they use the A word instead. So I know Sean Hannity personally, and he's, in my opinion, always been a zealot. He is a narcissist. He is probably one of the Donald Juniors. And it always fascinates me how these men can have this narcissism and think it's normal. I mean, we are human beings. I get it that we want to feel good about ourselves. I get it that self-confidence is a great thing. And there's a thin line between self-confidence and arrogance. And many men struggle with arrogance, being egotistical, being an egomaniac, and all of that. That's something that if you are a leader and you're a person whose job or whose station in life requires an enormous amount of self-confidence and extraordinary personal power, you may struggle with arrogance. That's just a fact. But when you get to the level of having the kind of narcissism that a Donald has, this buffoon, this rapist, this Donald, this pedophile who has the audacity to run for president of the United States of America, when you get that kind of narcissism and get it to that level, that's a psychological disease. That is pathological. And it fascinates me that none of the contenders, none of his opponents, neither Bush, who just dropped out, even though Jeb can fix it, okay, nor Christie, who also dropped out, who threatened a man with an ice cream cone one time, Rubio, Cruz, none of them have the testicular muscularity which is necessary, the guts, the tenacity, the temerity to stand toe-to-toe with this guy and state to him that Donald is a sick man. He's a sick man. Listen to me. If you listen to this guy closely and analytically, if you look beyond the fake hair, if you look beyond the elevated ego, if you look beyond the lies and all of that, he is a guy who has roughly $4.5 billion to his name. And yet, every time he talks about his wealth, he has to say that it's $10 billion. I mean, most of us would be extremely happy if we had $1 billion. And let's look at it this way. I know a lot of wealthy people who play down their wealth. I know a lot of people who just have a little bit of wealth. I have a buddy who's worth $3 million, and he will routinely tell you, "Oh, I may have a million, but it's not 3 million." But here's this Donald guy, and $4.5 billion is not enough. He has to claim his 10. I mean, this is a sick man. This is a man who, how do you know Donald is lying? It's easy. When his lips are moving. What a man. What kind of man looks in the mirror and falls in love with himself? And this is what really disqualifies Donald from having any kind of credibility whatsoever. This is what ought to make you want to go read America's Richest Pedophiles that has Donald on the front cover. This is what ought to make you want to go read The Truth About O.J. Simpson, Race, Class, Money, and Justice, which I was privileged with the opportunity by God to write. Donald stated that, quote, "My daughter is so pretty that if I weren't married, I would screw my own daughter," end quote. That's Donald's words. He was talking about his own daughter. What kind of man, what kind of human being, what kind of person would even fix their mind, put it into the gear that you have to have it in to even think of a hypothetical like that? When I heard it, I literally had to go to the bathroom and regurgitate. He said that his daughter is so pretty, so bad, so fine, as they would say, that if he, Donald, were not married, he would screw his own daughter. That is a sick man. There's something wrong with him. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask you again, if you are actually receiving this podcast, if you can hear it, send me an email so that I know that you got it. Only one email, though. Only one email, one time. Email me at shermandmanning@yahoo.com and tell me that you heard it. Thank you kindly. Signing off for now. Go to www.napsusa.org. That's NAPSUSA.org. Like me on Facebook. Follow me on Facebook. Follow this podcast. Subscribe to it. Sherman D. Manning. Get the book, The Truth About O.J. Simpson, Race, Class, Money, and Justice. Thank you very kindly.